Good evening, Ms. Rowe. I am Chelsea Ann. This interview aims to understand the differences between online and face-to-face classes. I will be asking a few questions regarding this topic and I hope for honest answers.
Okay, I understand.
To start things off, do you prefer online classes or face-to-face classes and why?
I would prefer face-to-face classes because of the reason that the experience of students studying would be more specific, and really they would understand the lessons being taught to them because there is interaction between the teacher and the students.
Oh, I see. So do you think online classes are much harder than face-to-face classes and why?
Yes, I do think that online classes are much difficult than face-to-face classes, and that is for the reason that there is a lack of interaction, proper interaction between the professor, the teacher, and the students. And as compared to face-to-face classes, the online classes are more free loading, so the students can sometimes be lazy, as we call it, when it comes to doing their homework, as opposed to submitting. Sorry yung ingay sa ano. Sorry, stop.
Oh, I can understand that. In line with that question, do you think students are more productive during face-to-face?
Yes, I would believe that they are more productive in face-to-face classes because I've mentioned earlier that there is an interaction between the professor and the students, and they can understand the lesson more, meaning they can have the enthusiasm to answer their given works.
So what would you say is the hardest thing in online classes?
To be truthful with you, there are a lot of difficulties when it comes to online classes, but for by far the most difficult in online classes for me is the lack of time to submit and the internet connectivity issues.
And what is the advantage of online classes?
For me, the advantage of online classes, despite me mentioning that it might be a disadvantage, is the freedom to submit whenever you please. Because some people are can tend to panic when they cram schedules. So having that freedom to submit whenever they please could also be an advantage for some people.
And what about your experiences? Are you having difficulties in online classes and how?
Yes, truthfully, I am also having difficulties in online class. And one of my difficulties in online class is finding it difficult to focus because the lack of connection between us, my classmates, my peers, my professor, it's hard to listen when I'm in the comfort of my home. Sometimes I feel lazy, and that could be a contributing factor as to why I find online classes so difficult.
Do you think that we should start face-to-face classes again?
As much as I would like to say yes, I think I would have to say no for now because of the COVID threat in our country is still ongoing, and putting people at risk despite needing the feeling the need to have a proper education is out of the question. The people's safety should come first. Mhm.
What is one thing that you would miss in online classes?
If I have to be honest, there is nothing that I would miss in online class. If I have to be honest, there is nothing that I would miss in online class because I prefer the face-to-face classes more. If I have to be honest, there is nothing I would miss in online class because I prefer face-to-face classes more. Mm,
Do you miss having face-to-face classes?
yes.
Oh. And do you like having online classes?
No.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss Rowe, for answering my questions and accepting my request for an interview. Once again, this is Chelsea, and thank you.